Hey everybody. I am recording this on Sunday the 24th, I believe. This is going up on the 26th, the Tuesday of this week, in place of the usual Kirblog. It's technically one. This is a particularly busy week for me, as I'm sure you guys can probably guess. It was yesterday. It was yesterday for me, it was a couple days ago for you, that we announced the Terrain of Magical Expertise RPG Kickstarter, which is a massive undertaking. It's going to be the biggest undertaking of my entire life. And I wanted to save doing something kind of like this, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I was going to have something more prepared. I don't have like a outline or anything for this. Not that I usually do for Kirblogs anyway most of the time. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to talk about just sort of everything. I've been here in Los Angeles now for 3 years, believe it or not. It's been 3 years and some change. I moved in the 4th of July weekend of 2014. Excuse me. And in that time, I have gotten to do a lot of really awesome things. I've been extremely fortunate, and it's an interesting sort of path that I took because, I'm sure what else is new? I talked about this on a Kirblog before, but so apologies as always for any and all regurgitated information you're all probably sick of hearing from me. But I moved to California to pursue a career in the animation industry. And, I went in and quite frankly was not really at the skill level that I was prepared, that I needed to be at. I was not fully prepared to work out here. Thankfully, at the very least, I was prepared to live out here. I had long since known how to take care of myself, and I've, if there's a number of things I can be proud of, it is actually that, believe it or not, just from like a life standpoint that I feel like, when, especially because I'm sure most artists listening to this, can share in that same stereotypical like adulting is hard kind of thing, and it is. When you're especially when you're in a more creative line of work, I guess it tends to be a little bit different for people. But nonetheless, I was prepared to live out here, and I jumped on an opportunity when I got it to take a place and get out here, and it's been wonderful, and I'm in a really nice area with surrounded by wonderful friends. Of which I want to talk about a lot of them in a little while. I had a massive support system, to help me out, which, you don't always have when you're moving from, one side of the country to the other. And of course my family, has been amazingly supportive too. But the other thing is I'm 28 right now, and I would like to be able to just take care of myself without, having to depend on my family. If there's anything wrong with that for anybody else out there that needs the support of your family, monetarily or situationally or otherwise, there's no judgment to that. But I wanted to get to this point, and I have, so I am very proud of that. And of course also kind of speaking of TOME stuff as well. I wanted to make it a goal to finish the TOME web series by 2015, which I managed to do. And, and of course, now it's already been well over a year since we did that big panel where all the cast and crew flew out. Now Casey's living in California since then, which is awesome. And, that was a really special, amazing weekend that really, solidified, I love what I do, and I'm so proud of what I get to do, and I'm so happy with the stuff that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And but after that, things got a little up in the air. I had spent the most amount of time that I'd really spent networking and like, you know, trying to get work and stuff, you know, out here, was spent weirdly, maybe just because it felt easier, even though it's not necessarily like so easy or whatever. I was pursuing a lot of stuff in voiceover, and I was getting that fear of like, uh-oh, am I going down the path of what some people thought? I'm like, am I just going to be a voice actor? Is that what I'm going to end up doing? You know, and I was a little worried about that. You know, and so after TOME was over, I started trying to take training myself for animation stuff specifically a lot more seriously. And so I've talked about this before, but like a lot of, you know, I'd said that already, whatever. A lot of what I was doing in 2016 in particular was I was trying to spend time training. You know, the couple animated shorts that I did here and there throughout the year, including like the TOME anniversary one and all that, you know, were part of that whole exercise and my dedicating to doing that year. And also like I'd taken classes and things, and, you know, so I was really trying to spend a lot of time on that. And I was finding that still by the end of the path, I was like, I'm just not finding it. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure if I'm even doing the right thing. I think I'm working hard. I don't know if I am working hard. Like, it was weird. But I just kind of got to a point eventually where I was like, I'm tired of waiting. You know, like, and both in the sense of like, you know, from that bratty temper tantrum of like, I want something to work out for me already, but also in the sense of like, I'm tired of like not having an outlet like I used to, because TOME had this thing, it did this thing for me, this sense of fulfillment that I get more than anything else. You know, I kind of talk on the side for a second, you know, talking about the voiceover stuff for a minute too. I love voiceover. Anybody who knows me knows that, both from the trivia side, from the behind the scenes side, from the fan perspective, etc. I love it. And as I've come to learn, I've gotten pretty okay at it, to the point where now, strangely enough, it's what I'm paying my bills with more than anything. You know, not to get too onto that side of things, but like, I don't make a whole lot of money doing YouTube stuff. I don't know if people like really consider me that much of a YouTuber, you know, for whatever that's worth, you know. But I don't make a whole lot of money online doing what it is that I do. Truthfully, I didn't even make a whole lot of money doing freelance, like when I was doing more animation freelance stuff back in the day. So now voiceover has weirdly become my biggest consistent bill payer. And I owe a lot of that to, you know, I've gone on and on about Ben Diskett and Mona Marshall and a lot of those guys who, you know, hooked me up with a lot of the opportunities that I have. So, you know, it's really, I give them so much credit for that. And, you know, and also that was something like in comparison that I was a bit more prepared for, but also comparison to filmmaking and animation and visual storytelling, I found acting stuff to be a little bit easier to hone my craft at on a smaller scale. And I don't know what that means, if that necessarily means like, oh, it comes more naturally and easier to me. Maybe that means I was more meant to be an actor than I was an artist or a creator or whatever. And I don't know. And you know what? Maybe deep down, maybe that's the truth, and I just don't want to admit it. But the other truth is, and I was reminded again of this every time I was making a TOME episode when we did the finale, and what I'm getting into now with this game, which I'm getting to that too. But where was I going with that? I don't get the same, like, I don't get the same feeling from just being an actor as I do. Actually, you know what? Funnily enough, I was just listening to Geekdom 101 did this interview with Sabat, and he was talking about how, like, he wouldn't want to be just a voice actor on his own. He would, you know, he enjoys doing a little bit of everything. And I was like, yeah, I kind of identify with that. I don't do all the same things that Chris Sabat does, you know, or nearly to the same level of expertise. But expertise, anyway. But I got what he meant in terms of like, I love all of this. I love the script writing process. I love the animation process. Even though it was, funnily enough, that was something for a while I was like, even though I did it, weirdly enough. I love the animation process. I've gotten to enjoy storyboarding a lot more, which was a major thing I didn't care about doing for a long time. You know, I love the voice recording and directing process, both when I'm in it, when I'm working with the other actors. Last week, I think I've talked about this on at the end of some of the previous couple Kirblogs, but I had my first in-studio voiceover job this past week, the previous week, which was incredible. In fact, I'm actually finishing the last day of it this week, so that's one of the reasons why I'm a little busy and I'm doing this impromptu. But anyway, but I love the marketing side, even like you know, promoting stuff and making the little promo images and making the little quick videos talking about stuff, like all that. It's every aspect of this I love, and you know, I missed it. So about a year ago, around this time, actually a couple different things happened. You know what? I'm going to talk about this. I was debating. Last year, around this time or so, maybe a little earlier, I started to see a therapist. It was something that I was, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, not because I'm ashamed of it. I'm very, very glad that I went to go see them. And then my storage space ran out, and I look like an asshole, and I look like I just edited this, so please believe me when I say that I didn't at that really important part. Anyway, I went to see a therapist, and I'll keep it short, but basically I reanalyzed a lot of things about my life and what I was doing just in general, and so I just kind of took to my creative side again, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? So I started kind of looking at my options of like, what can I do next in terms of like a bigger step beyond just, you know, the workshops and the training and the networking and the whatever. Like, what am I doing next? And I had a couple different options, but ultimately after some conversations with Michael Prinky, who I've had join me for all of the TOME RPG update streams we've been doing the last few months, who I'd known for a couple years already by that point and gotten to know him really well. Excuse me. I just kind of pitched him this idea for the TOME game that I had already been working on, and he was fully on board. And then we decided that come the new year, which was this year, that we would start on it. And so, yeah, now for the past 9 months, we have been working on this prototype and this whole entire design of what the full game is going to be. And, you know, we're asking for $75,000, which is more money than any of us have ever touched in our lives. You know, and, yeah, it's going to be the biggest undertaking of my life. And, I'm terrified. I will be straight up with you guys. I'm really, really scared for a lot of reasons. Most of which you can probably guess why. But from my perspective, it's like, you know, I've never done this before. I've never created a video game. I've worked on games in varying capacities for the last several years since I finished college, but I've never made one. And thankfully, I am placing my trust in Michael and also Nathan, our assistant programmer, and Scott Gowan, who's a great game designer. You know, we're like the core team, and I'm sticking to what I'm doing best on the project, which is animation, writing, producing, you know, that kind of side of things, and working with Michael and the gang on the more technical side of stuff so that we can actually do this. And, you know, and we're confident that we can do this. And it's exciting. I am also really, really excited. Like, some of my friends have been actually, like, worried about me early on. Like, oh, are you sure? Like, you're going to do this? And, like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm great. I've been having the time of my life doing this. You know, every day I wake up and I've got something to do. I've got something, like awesome to do. I've been animating tons of characters and, like, doing all this stuff and so much work. And I've written, like, half the script of the game at this point. You know, I've been doing all this stuff, and it's been awesome, and I love it, and I'm really, really happy, and I'm really excited, but I'm also really scared, because I've never done this before, and I'm really worried that somehow something And, you know, of course I have to be prepared for this because God knows something might happen, but I'm worried that something's going to screw it all up. I don't know. You know, mostly I'm worried that I'm going to screw it up, to clarify in particular. You know, I have so many people, friends, family, colleagues, you know, the fandom, that are all rooting for, you know, I don't want to say just me, because it's this team collectively. This is not just me. This is what we're about to do would not be possible at all, because I wanted to do a Tome game before I picked up Flash. You know, I've been wanting to technically do this since 2004, I think, you know, and it's happening. We're actually making a Tome video game. You know, or at least we're going to try our goddamnedest to do it. So again, it's exciting. And I place so much trust in Michael, Nathan, and Scott, and all of our team. A lot of the folks from the series, Cadget and Yoav and Jordan and Crescent, Mike Lucas and Zach on character design. Shady's helped with sound stuff again. You know, Zero Incorporated has helped with a lot of the video editing for the trailers and things, you know. But so it's thrilling. And like, I can't wait to see what people's reaction are, you know, to when the trailer drops, and what all the characters look like, and how the demo plays. And like, you know, we want to shop it at like GDC and some other conventions, and we want to, like, you know, we really want to take this seriously, and I don't know what the future is going to hold for it. It is exciting, but it's also scary. You know, I have a lot of people that believe in me. I also have a lot of people, for various reasons, that don't believe in me. And sometimes I can be one of those people. But I have to be the person that does believe in myself. This is getting very Gurren Lagann right now. It's you know, it's just, it's a lot. It really is. I don't know. I'm really trying my absolute best every day to be appreciative of what it is that I'm doing right now, what I'm able to do, and more than anything, the support that I have from everybody, because I would not be able to do any of this at all. Even though, like, and even friends of mine like, no, you did this, you earned this. It's like, I did, but I had help. Every step of the way of every major thing in my life, I've had help and support and backing. You know, I meant in the emotional sense, but sometimes in the monetary sense. You know, I mean, we did a crowdfunding campaign before, you know, but yeah, it's still a lot. It's a lot of pressure, and, you know, I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to be a roller coaster of emotions this entire next month and a half or so, because we're going into the first week of November with it. You know, and I mean, this is going to take up, I'm probably going to, I see myself spending at least the next, like, I would say 2 years, two full years at least, working on this game. You know, our goal is to get it done by, you know, just sometime in the year 2020, which Michael thinks that is pretty possible for us to do, especially if we make maybe even more than just the 75K. You know, but there's a whole lot going on in October. Even now, I've also been working on a lot of the Voice October stuff for my channel, just to get that out of the way and, like, be focused entirely on the game, and maintaining everything that comes with it while that's going on. But yeah, so I'm scared. I'm excited. I'm terrified. I'm happy. It's very strange. I don't know. I'm going to do my absolute best. I'm going to really, really, really take this seriously. I am, you know, this was, a lot of thought was put into this decision of this being the next major milestone of, like, my life. It's a lot. It was a lot to think about. It's been a lot already just to do, even at this stage. There's going to be a lot more to do. And, you know, I've been preparing myself for it for a long time. I'm gonna do my absolute best. And so, you know, and Michael and Nathan and Scott in particular, if you happen to watch this and make it this far, just thanks so much for being so incredibly dedicated for this past almost year now. It's been amazing, and you know, this wouldn't be happening literally again without you guys at all. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. I've just probably put like gigabytes of shit on my phone I need to clear again now. So yeah, I'll put this up on Tuesday, and keep an eye out. Saturday, 9 in the morning, PST, Saturday the 30th. I got work to do.